Hello and welcome to Greenland International School in Cairo, Egypt. I was very fortunate to interview Norhan Nasser, an important IB student who attends Greenland International. I'll be comparing and contrasting my interview with her about her IB school. Greenland International in Egypt, to Palm Harbor University, where I attend the IB program, here in the United States. During my comparisons, you will see that although the two schools are worlds apart, they are very similar. Norhan tells me that her school starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they go until 3 in the evening. So, unlike me, she gets an extra hour of sleep in the morning. They have buses, but unlike our large yellow buses, they have small buses that seem similar to minivans. Greenland, unlike Palm Harbor University, or PHU, which is a public school, Greenland is a private school, with students attending from kindergarten all the way through high school. At PHU, students are in high school and attend for 4 years. In Egypt, it is typical that students would attend for only 3 years. It is the second and third year of high school that are important for their college applications. Norhan told me, during our interview, that most of the students in high school will attend college. In fact, it is highly unusual that any student would not attend. If they are in school at Greenland, it is because their grades are meeting the expectations for college. If they did not have good grades in their first year of high school at Greenland International, they would not be permitted to continue in that private school. They would have to transfer to a public school. Public schools in Egypt don't offer as much education, which is the main purpose. PHU's IB program attracts students from all over, and, like PHU, Greenland is a well-respected school in its area. Some students travel more than an hour each way just to attend the IB program. Now I'm going to talk about the two major differences that I have found out between Palm Harbor University and Greenland International. This is the schedule for some students in Greenland International, and as you can see, it is very different than ours. At Greenland International, they have 7 periods going diagonally across the screen and 5 days going horizontally on the left side, similar to ours. But at Greenland International, they don't have a 3-day rotation like we do. We have A, B, and C days. They have a 5-day rotation. Also, instead of going to school Monday through Friday, they go to school Sunday through Thursday. They have Friday and Saturday off instead of having Saturday and Sunday off like we do. Also, at Greenland International, they have uniforms that vary between white and green depending on the year. I asked Norhan if she liked having uniforms or not. She said that it takes away from that constant stress of what you are wearing and how it looks because everyone is wearing the same thing, which was a big relief to Norhan. A question many kids at my school ask after I present my communications with a teen in Egypt is, what do kids in Egypt do when they're done with school? Well, after school, most kids hang out with their friends or their cliques from school. Cairo is commonly known as the city that never sleeps. Homework is started around 9 o'clock at night and is finished around midnight, or earlier if needed. Most kids go to bed around 1 or 2 in the morning, which is pretty amazing. In Egypt, it is normally the custom to stay with your family until you get married. This includes your college years. Lately, teens in the International Baccalaureate program are starting to break this custom so that they can receive higher education and use their diploma that they earned internationally. I think this is fantastic because it's exactly what the IB diploma is for, to use it internationally, hence the name International Baccalaureate Program. Also, in Egypt, they do a lot of field trips. Field trips are really important because you get to see everything firsthand. You get to see it as they present it, and you get to form your own opinion. In Egypt, my 2 interviewees take about 4 field trips over the course of the year. and she was amazed when I told her that we don't take field trips. Alright, that's enough talk about school. Now we're going to talk about fun. This mainly consists of their holidays and their weekends. First, we're going to talk about their holidays. There are not a lot of holidays like we have, because Egypt is mainly Islam. During our Christmas, they have something called Ramadan. Also, instead of having New Year like we do, they have something called Muharram, which is very popular in the Islamic community. Most kids in Egypt spend their weekends just like we do, except theirs consist of a later start and a later end. Most kids in Egypt go to bed on weekends about 4 or 5 in the morning and don't wake up till about 3 in the evening. It's a very crazy lifestyle. This mountain is Abul Ma'ar, and it has a huge story behind it. It goes like this. Abul Ma'ar was a priest, and King Farku is the king. So Abul Ma'ar went to the king, and he told him, if your belief is as big as Khabit el-Kedil, the tip of the needle, then you will tell the mountain to move, and it will move. And so King Farku told him, then do what you say, or else all Christians in Egypt will die. Millions of people watched, both Muslims and Christians, as Abul Ma'ar moved the mountain until the king cried, that's enough, that's enough. And he too converted to a Christian. And that is how the mountain came to be. In Egypt, this is the biggest thing to the Coptic Orthodox people. And, as you can see, it has writing all along the outside of the cave, and inside, it is a beautiful church. It's got an interior inside the cave, and one that leads outside, so it has 2 churches, and you can walk all throughout the cave. Since the church is known as God's house, the Coptic Orthodox people, out of respect, make the churches very large. It is often that a Coptic Orthodox church will have a 40-foot high ceiling or bigger, and many square feet, more than most houses. In Egypt, it is the custom not to handshake people, but instead to give them a light kiss on the cheek, on both sides. So, to do this, you'd go and not kiss their cheek directly, but you put their cheek next to yours, and you make a kissing sound. And you do this to both cheeks. Also, if you're a kid, you don't call people by their name, but you call every adult male as uncle and every adult female as aunt, out of respect. In many ways, Egypt life is very different to ours, but in many ways it is very similar to ours. They even text.